Hi Boys and Girls Club kids, this is Dr. Maggie and I am here to talk to you about paper mache. So we're going to be making paper mache masks, and if you've never done paper mache before, it's a way of making something like a mask really hard from just paste and newspapers. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I've already mixed up my paste. I've used my blender. I basically filled it up to right here. And then I put about half of this cup into the blender and mixed it up. And I'm going to give you like a really fast lesson on this because I know you're going to want to get right to it. Once I get my paste mixed up, I'm going to put it in my container, and you'll have containers just like this. So it just pours right in there like that, and you want it about halfway full. When you're doing this project, you're going to need some stuff. You probably have some paper bowls, like you would use if you were eating, at home and you didn't want to do dishes. So paper bowls. I have sent over some wheat paste, and that's what you'll be using. You, of course, will need a blender, and then you'll need containers like this to put your paste in, and the paste will last. Now, I don't have any paper bowls, so I'm going to put my balloon on this, and then the other thing that you need, which you have, are these 9-inch balloons, okay? And then you need newspapers, and I'm going to show you a little trick because what happens is sometimes if you don't know how to rip up newspapers, which seems kind of weird, like how could you not know how? But there's actually a way. Newspapers have a grain. And so if you rip them lengthwise, they'll always rip in nice strips like this. But if I tried to do that widthwise, look what happens. See, it's not very pretty, is it? So I can use this though. So I'm going to rip my paper into strips just like this. I'm going to go lengthwise so that they're all nice and straight strips. And I can use these for other things. And we're going to be just putting our strips into this glue and then putting it on the balloon. So you're going to take your 9-inch balloon and you're going to blow it up. And you want it to be a little bit like around the size of your head. Okay, so like maybe a little bit smaller than my head because I have a really big head. So that isn't quite as big as I want it to be. I'm going to make it just a little bigger. And I guess that is a little bit bigger than my head. Okay, I'm going to tie my knot. I'm going to show you how to do that because sometimes it's hard to remember. Put these 2 fingers like this, bring this around, put this between those 2 fingers and pull it through. Now I have my balloon, okay? And I'm going to put my balloon on my bowl. Of course, I don't have a bowl, so I have to do it differently. I'm going to use my coffee can, my coffee container, and I'm going to tape it on there so you can see like it's already wobbling around and stuff, and I don't want it to do that. I want it to be nice and secure, and I want it to stay where I put it. So I'm going to use tape, and I'm just going to tape it down, and it's okay if I just go right across my balloon because the newspaper is going to cover all that up anyway. So I'm just going to tape it on there, and I want the knot right here to be facing me, so it's kind of head shaped, and this is sort of like where the chin might be. And so I'm going to tape it on there nice and secure. And it doesn't matter what you tape your balloon to, like you can see, I just used whatever was handy, and you can do that too. If you don't like the paper bowls, sometimes those are not as easy to work with as we would like them to be, and you have something else that works better, that's fine. We're creative people, so we can be innovative. And use what we have to the best of our ability. All right. So now I have the beginning of the shell of my paper mache mask. And you can see that the shell is just gonna be a flat surface. And it's just gonna be in the shape of this balloon, so it'll be like that shape. And I'm gonna take my newspaper, and I like shorter strips, so I'm gonna use a shorter strip, and I'm gonna put it into the paste. So, you can see that, all right. So basically with my right hand, I'm gonna put it in the paste. With my left hand, I'm gonna push it down so that glue gets on both sides of the paper. And then I'm going to take my left fingers and I'm just going to get the excess glue off because I don't need it to be super wet. I want it to dry sometime. And I'm going to just I'm going to make a border around my balloon. So I'm going to put it right where I want the edge of my mask to be. Okay, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to put it in with my right hand, so I got it in there. I'm going to press down with my fingers. And I'm going to get the excess glue off just like that. And I'm going to wrap it around the edge. Now, as I do this, I'm going to be careful not to go over the knot because that isn't going to really help my mask. So I'm going to go make sure that I'm on this end, the top end of that knot when I make the border. And so I'm going to continue to wrap my balloon. Now, when I start getting it on there, I also want to sort of smooth this paper out. And I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing, but I do want you to see what it looks like when I have the whole edge done. This is what you want to do when you're first starting to paper mache. When you first put the first pieces of paper on there, you want it to look like this. So you can see I kind of have the edge of the mask. So this is going to be where the face is, and this is going to be where the opening is. If that makes sense. Now that I've done that, I can take my paper strips and I can start laying them on the top of it. Now, the first layer is just going to sort of tell you where the mask is going to be and what shape it's going to be. And then after that, you're just going to keep putting layers and layers and layers over each other. And every time you put a layer on there, your mask will get stronger and stronger. And so I would say that every day after this video and after we work on making our masks, after that, every day you should put like 3 or 4 layers on your mask. 3 or 4 layers on your mask. And then, once you have those layers on there, then it'll be nice and strong. Now you're going to see that in the second part of this video. I'm going to show you a mask, and I'll show you how it looks once it's all the way done. And of course, as we go along, I'll be working alongside you, so you're going to see how my mask begins to look. Now, you can kind of see how this is going to be a mask already, even though I don't have all my balloon covered on the mask part. So obviously, I'm not going to cover the whole balloon, because on the bottom, that's going to be where the opening is. But on this top part, I'm going to cover the whole thing. And I'm going to probably put between, I would say, 7 to maybe 10 layers. You want a lot. You want a lot of layers. Because the more layers you put on there, the harder it'll be and the more stable it'll be. And then the more stable your mask is, the cooler you can make the facial features and add things to it. If you have a really weak one, you can't really add anything to it. I just saw that I've missed a spot right here. So before I show you what I've done, I'm going to put this on here. All right, so here's what I've done so far. Now, this is just one layer, and it is not going to be enough to hold anything on there. So if I let this dry and then I tried to make a mask out of this, it would collapse. And I don't want it to do that. If I put 7 to 10 layers on there, it will keep the shape even after I pop the balloon, which may be the funnest part, aside from painting. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to keep putting our layers on, and I'll show you some stages in just a second. And then we're going to add facial features. We'll be doing that in a week or so, and then we'll paint them. So here is an example of a mask. It's got quite a bit of additions to it, but I can do that because it's nice and strong, and that's because I've put so many layers on there. So you can hear that, and it doesn't move or anything. So when I make my additions of eyebrows and eyes and a nose and a mouth, and even this little crown or halo, it's not a problem at all. And you can see in the back, I have not painted it, but I've painted the back part of this so that it's all complete, and I've got a little hanging device. So this is what we're going for. Now, you don't have to have all of this, but if you want to do some really cool stuff like this, Miss Chloe and I will be able to help you do all of that.